One of the biggest questions that I hear from authors is, I have my book, now what? Well, one of the best use cases that you can use AI for, one of the best use cases that you can use your book for, is to replicate you and to use it to create content. And so one of my favorite things that I do is I use AI to take my book and to give me hundreds of different ideas. And what I like to do is I like to take this book and then I like to turn it into different forms of content. I then like to have the AI create those styles, learning all about me, and then I have a ton of usable content for various different platforms, social media sites, blog posts, websites, email campaigns, etc. And so what I want to do is I want to show you how to use a book for content creation so that you don't have to wonder about what to speak on. I did a video where I talked about how you can actually just hold up your book, flip to the page, and kind of use it that way to create a bunch of content ideas. But now, let's let the AI kind of come into play. And just so you know a little bit more about where this kind of comes from, is I've written 4 best-selling books. I've used these books to build multiple businesses in the coaching, publishing, and speaking world. I post multiple times a day, and I don't have to think of new ideas. Why? Because I can use AI and my book, which is my best content, and I can use that to really help it out. So I really just want to show you like how I would think about doing this, give you a little live action tutorial. And then if you have any questions, feel free to reach out or chat through it. But this is just a simple way that anybody with a book or anybody with even a PDF or materials that you have, you can do this to upload everything. So the first thing that I want to do is I'm actually going to upload my book. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm uploading this PDF. And what I might do is I may want to throw in a prompt. And this prompt is, and maybe let's say I want to make this prompt, and I want to just say, imagine you are a content creator specializing in media creation for marketing purposes. Okay? Now you can have a better prompt, you can do whatever. And then let's just say I wanted to create blog posts, I wanted to create Instagram reels, I want to do all that. So what I would like is to create a blog post, a quote graphic, a carousel, 5 reel ideas, and a YouTube long form script. Please do this for chapter 1, and then we can repeat and adapt. So what's going to happen now is, again, this is just a generic prompt that I'm making up with you on the spot, but you can really polish this off. And this is something that I love to do. And we have this whole like script of all the things that we do and all these prompts. But essentially what you can do is you can just plug it into an LLM of your choice. Or if you want to get more advanced, you can really build out skills, connectors, and all these different things with Claude Cowork. But this is just on the chat, okay? This is just on their chat. And what's going to happen is you're going to upload your book. And while you're uploading your book, you're going to then ask Claude to take on the role, or ask chat, or whoever you use to take on the role of doing the specific things that you want. Now, sometimes what I like to do is I like to really get clear and say, you know what, I'm looking for just 5 carousel ideas that I can use for this chapter. Or can you look at pages 27 through 28 and come up with the best types of social media posts that you recommend? Whatever your style is and whatever you're looking for, there's a million different ways to do it. So right now what's happening is it's kind of creating this. Now, the other thing to note while we're kind of waiting it, and I'm trying to give a bunch of different examples here, is this is an iterative process. So you can ask for what you want, and depending on how much it knows about you, it will auto use your voice, right? So if I'm doing this, because I uploaded my manuscript, I might have it just say, I will do this in your very own voice. The other thing that you might want it to do is you might want it to come up with a blog post that is 1,000 words, that's very punchy, and you can give it all these parameters. My intention for this video is I just want to show you that if you're an author, you can use your book over and over and over and over again to create tons and tons of social media stuff. Now, what's really cool about this, if you want to get even more advanced, is you can create a task where it can go through every single chapter, ask for your approval, and it can put out all these different pieces of content. So you could, in theory, have it create 10 graphics, 5 carousels, 6 blog posts, 3 YouTube long-form video scripts, etc. You could also have it just do one YouTube video script, record that video script. It could be a podcast, long form, and then you could upload that and say, okay, now based on this, create different carousels, create everything else. So as you can see, it's going through all of these various different things. And I'm sorry, I'm not one of those content creators who will pause it and just show you when it comes down. You're seeing this in real time. And yes, this does take a few minutes, but what I like to do during this time while I'm waiting is you can do other tasks, other chats, or you can just do something else completely as long as your computer stays open. So right now we're just going to keep waiting and it's still putting it all together, but you're going to be excited to see what this output is. Now, if you're like, Jake, this is taking way too long. Okay, how long would it take you to write a blog post, create a quote graphic, find the content for a carousel, create 5 ideas, and a YouTube long form script? So actually, this is going to save us a lot of time. The other thing that I want you to consider here is, well, what are the parameters that work best for your brand? So what I mean by this is, let's say you do a blog post every single week. Well, maybe you're somebody who does 500-word blog posts. Maybe you're someone who does 2,500-word blog posts. So you might want to take a piece of your book and shorten it or expand it. That's something that you can tap into here. Maybe you're somebody who does carousels and you want to post 5 carousels per day. Okay, well, what's the style? Do you have a brand kit? Do you have the colors you want? All of these things can help the AI build and create specific for you. And I'm not an AI expert by any means. I'm just learning how to use the tools that are in front of me to ultimately save me some time. So hopefully this thing's going to load pretty quickly. And what's going to be able to do is we're going to be able to see all of this stuff. So to recap everything, while we wait for this final piece, you can choose the prompt that you want to ask it. You can choose the types of content you want it to create. You can choose the quantity that you want to build. And then you can allow AI to do its thing, revise, revisit, and then go from there. And if you do this, you'll be able to create a flywheel effect. It'll also be able to give you a bunch of different ideas. So let's see what this comes up with here. Hopefully it will happen soon. But something cool to note is you can see what's happening as it's going on. You can see creating the blog post, creating the graphic, creating the Instagram carousel. You can see here that it's creating the idea and a reel script. And now what you can do is you can see this output is coming up over here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it over here. But look, this is what it created. Now, it's not going to be perfect, okay? But what we want to do is we want to see how we can do it better. Now, the reason it's not perfect is because my prompt wasn't very specific. I didn't tap into anything. I didn't ask for a lot of specificity. I just kind of did it on a whim. Again, the intention here is to show you what's possible so that you can actually see what it's like, and then I can go into much more detailed videos. But essentially, here's what happened with all of these things. So what you can do here is you can open it up. So here's a quote graphic from the first chapter. There's no better marketing asset you can have than a book. Now, I could download this and I can absolutely download this and make it better. But what I might do is just say, hey, I just want this with the text. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. So what I'm going to do here is I'll move my camera up. For the quote graphic, can you, and typos are fine, I guess, can you please just have it with the text and quote? I do not want anything else. Remove the chapter 1, remove the subtext, remove big idea to bestseller at the bottom, and the site. And so it'll go ahead and it'll start working on that. While it's doing that though, let's go back over here and let's go evaluate kind of some of the other stuff. You can see a carousel slide. Now, what we didn't do is tell it how many times. But look at this. Your book is the ultimate differentiator. This comes from the slides. It's a paid product. This is amazing. Look at this. It's a networking tool. This is directly out of my book. This is really, really cool stuff. What you can do is you can tell it, I want a 10-slide carousel. The first slide is a title slide. The last slide is a call to action. Give me value in between. You can look at the blog post. Look at this blog post. Your book is the ultimate differentiator, and here's why every entrepreneur needs one. What do they have in common? Again, this is content from my book, and I can't stress this enough. If it's content from your book, that means it's some of your best material, because you only put your best material into your book. So this is where it's a huge, huge, huge win, and why taking from a book is so valuable, because the content's been edited, it's been approved, it's been reviewed many times. It's some of your best stuff between your personal stories as well as your tactical educational information. But so now you have a 900-word blog post here. 5 ways that your book becomes the ultimate differentiator. It's a paid product that pays you forever. It's the greatest networking tool ever created. It transforms your client onboarding experience. It closes the deal. It generates leads on autopilot. The bottom line, and it even has a call to action here at the bottom. This is really cool. Now, is this perfect and am I just going to copy and paste this in? No, not necessarily. But this is a great start to help you out. Chapter 1, Real Ideas. Let's go ahead and let's do this, right? Let's look at what it did. So it said Chapter 1, Real Ideas. Rule number 1, the Johnny versus Jimmy test. Would you hire Johnny or Jimmy? Here's why this question matters for every entrepreneur. Okay, that's intriguing. I don't really know exactly what it's about yet, but we'll go ahead and do this. Number 2 is it kind of gives you. A $5 book changed my business more than a $50K ad spend ever did. That's a great hook. Again, you can edit this. You can revise from it. But this is really great. How I got into the DMs of people who never responded. So it looks at all these different things, right? So this is really cool. It gave me 5 different scripts. And then if you scroll down, it gave me the YouTube long form script. So it's all about this. Now remember, this is just from chapter 1, and this is just one idea that it built all of this around. I could ask for 5 more of these. I could ask for 10 more of these, right? And it gives you an entire script of what you can do. Now, personally, I don't like to go off a crazy script, so I would ask it to probably bullet point and revise it. But this is a very clear 15-minute video. So these are the things that it can do. So now let's just see here. Here's the quote graphic. It updated it. Look at that. Now, this isn't necessarily perfect branding, color scheme, etc., but we didn't prompt it with that. We didn't necessarily add that in the background. I wanted to just show you what was possible just from uploading your book with nothing else included. Now what you can do is you could essentially say the quote graphic is great. Please make it a purple background with bold text that is white and easy to read. And you could do that, right? And then you could also queue up another message, right? Like, can you make the YouTube script in bullet form versus paragraph form? And then we wait while it's updating this. I don't like to just send messages at a time. I like to wait. And you can see it down here. But right now, look, it's updating that graphic in real time. And to be honest, this graphic is solid. This graphic is good. This graphic is postable. But look at this. Look at this. In real time. I'm honestly pretty impressed. I actually am so excited about this. This is so good. Now you could say make the text bigger or whatever, right? So look, now let's add this. Can you make the YouTube script in bullet form versus paragraph form? And so now what it's going to do is it's going to update this all around. You could have it do 5 more. Okay? So look, it's updating. You could see that it's rewriting the script. My point with all of this, and the reason I'm so passionate about this and so excited about this, is if you have a book, it's your best content. And if you're using that book to grow your business, you likely are using content to help people learn who you are and what you're all about. So if you've done the work once by creating your book, you now have your best content in a easily digestible format for AI to work its magic. Then you prompt it and put it into play so that it can absolutely take that into effect. Once it does that, you have unlimited options at your disposal. You can customize it. You can add your brand kit. It can build things out. It can connect with Slack, connect with your Google Drive. It can connect with Google Sheets. It can create all these things. And now you're able to build out an entire system and engine. What I would do if I was in your shoes as an author, especially if you're newer to AI, is you upload your manuscript in PDF form to AI. Pick your choosing. Then what you're going to do is you're going to give it a prompt and tell it exactly how many pieces of content you want to create based on the different amount of chapters. If you're like, I just want 20 reels from my book, great. Maybe you want 20 reels, maybe you want 20 quote graphics, and maybe you want 20 carousels. That's 60 pieces of content. That's one per week. Okay? Depends on your cadence. Reverse engineer it. This is the privilege. This is the point of how we can use AI to really create more advantages for us that ultimately save us a lot of time, right? Now, once you have all of this dialed in, the possibilities are endless. You can create all types of content, and that's something that we do is we have built this entire system where it knows exactly what my brand guide is, it knows the voice I speak in, and what I'm able to do is I'm able to plug it into this project. We've created skills on Claude Cowork, and what I'm able to do is I'm able to just input it, and we have a book to content thing, and it gives me the exact amount that I want for every single book. And I love this, and we're testing it out. We're trying it out with a bunch of different people. But look, let's go evaluate this. All right, so look, it put it into bullet form. So here are the reels. Again, very good. Here's the YouTube script. So what it did was now it kind of put it into bulleted form. It's still pretty scripty, so I would say I just want bullets, not the sentences in bullet form, but I kind of want it to just be focused on the key elements. So I could have this be a little shorter. But this is how you go about doing this. And so if we look, this video is on at 16 minutes, okay? But in 16 minutes, we created a quote graphic that we revised. We created multiple carousel slides that we could approve, change, edit that are pretty good. We took a blog post. We created a blog post that's 900 words for your website. What we did was we created 5 reels in a YouTube script, and we did all of that in this 16 minutes window. The best part about all this is during the entire time it was working, we could have been focusing on something else. So this is just one super basic way to leverage AI and to create social media from your book to save you time and to use your best content that you've already done. That's the power of this. That's the power of a book. So look, if you want to learn more about this, or if you want to come up with how to actually write a really good book so that you can then have the best social media content or grow your business, then I'd love to chat. But better than that, I'd love to give you a free copy of my book, Big Idea to Bestseller. You can go to bigideatobestseller.com/free-book, and I'll actually mail you a copy. And this book is how to write, publish, and launch a nonfiction book. And if you want more help on either how to build out this content engine for yourself or to actually create a book, you can go to bigideatobestseller.com/call, and you can book a demo in with me and our team. So this is why every entrepreneur should be using AI to help create social content and to do the heavy lifting so that then you can have more output to share your message with the world and stop being the best kept secret. So there you have it. I'll see you next time.